Oh, we're starting. Thank you for tuning in to WCEG Talk Radio.com. I am your host, Vincent Cheeks. And we are the worldwide community empowerment group. I can't hear myself. We are your 501c3 nonprofit community radio station. Please consider making a tax-deductible donation to help support our broadcast. You can go to our website or call our office at 404-490-8646, 404-490-8646. Thank you again for tuning in on this Tuesday evening. We have a great show for you tonight. I am going to introduce my guest. I do not have any announcements today, but we are here to discuss the Let's Talk Sex Trafficking, HIV, and Healthcare Symposium. And the founder of that symposium is Mr. Roderick Cunningham. He is the director of the Beverly Cunningham Outreach Program, which is a domestic violence awareness nonprofit organization that is dedicated to helping to bring an end to violence. Also with him, he has two guests with him, Ms. Harlan Swinger Rawls, right? I said that right. She's a victims advocate, legislative advocate, philanthropist, and a certified life, business, and professional and personal consultant. She is a survivor of domestic violence, sexual abuse, and sex trafficking. She is a co-founder of Fellowship Community Outreach and SAVED, which is under the umbrella of Fellowship Community Outreach. And SAVED stands for Survivors Against Violence, Empowered and Determined. I like that. And one of her favorite scriptures is Philippians 4:8, right? I'll let you tell us why that is when you get the mic. Our next guest is Miss Cynthia Allen. Welcome. She is a licensed CNA. Is that a nurse something? Certified nursing assistant. I thought so. I did go to college. she, she is a licensed certified nursing assistant and freelance medical personnel. She is also a member of FDKA Deliverance Church. She is an ambassador, sponsor, and spokesperson for HIV. She conducts private sessions in her home once a month for 20 women who are aware of their condition but are not ready to share with the public. And one of her quotes is, "Healing starts by accepting your condition and living to heal the brokenness within." Right? Well, welcome, everyone. Thank you for Conversations in Education. We're going to have a hashtag casual conversation about the HIV, healthcare, and sex trafficking symposium. And we'll start with Mr. Cunningham. What is this symposium, and what is it all about? Yeah, I heard him. Say something. Say something. I can hear. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. We good? Go ahead. Okay. 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 Right. Yes. Right.
So I said, no, this is what God put in my heart, and that's the bottom line. We're gonna go with it. And now, several years later, we're still doing it, and people are actually in the audience through different survivors' stories are the main thing.
Okay.
Professionals on the panel as well. We have the survivors to basically, that's the video right there.
Okay.
To bring it out.
Right.
In other words, to open the, if you will, congregation up.
Right.
The attendees up to say, hey, look, we deal with these issues too. This is why we're having this, because we deal with these issues as well. And then taking it from that survivor story and them connecting to now, let's deal with it from a professional side.
Right.
And let's give you some help.
Okay.
And then give you some help by tangible means.
Right.
By tangible resources, having those resources there on hand to give them the resources that they need. So that way they don't have to go down to that facility initially. The facility right there to do it.
Right.
With them. So that's the picture of the vision. That's besides the entertainment we have there to lighten the atmosphere.
Okay.
That's besides the free food that we have there for the attendees. And then we just go forth from there and just let everything flow. But the main thing that we wanted to talk about is these survivors. It's a real deal. And them giving their story, being able to open people up to let them know that, hey, I'm dealing with this too. And I live with this. So they've learned how to move on with their life. And now they can teach others how to move on with their life as well.
Right. Okay. And so you brought some survivors in with you.
Yes.
So they can share some of their stories with our listening audience. But before we get into that, because you've already told me they've got some pretty powerful stuff.
Yes.
So something you said just now was with the symposium, you wanted to bring resources to the people who may not normally go to the resources.
Exactly.
Right. And so why is that a thing in our community that we don't readily go to the resources that may be sitting there for us?
I mean, one is monetary funds.
Okay.
That's one. Two, insurance. Everybody don't have the insurance that's needed to cover certain things. Everybody don't have Medicaid or Medicare or Blue Cross Blue Shield or
Right.
State Farm or Allstate, any of those. Well, Aetna, Humana, everybody don't have that.
Right.
Some people have zero. Some people have, when I mean by zero, they don't even have money to go to the doctor. So
yeah,
the stigma is over our heads.
Right.
You know, whereas other communities, they're taught from the door, make the sacrifice.
Right. Yeah, yeah.
But us, we got to make the sacrifice between having food on the table, our rent,
right,
or
finding out what this growth is in my neck.
Exactly. Exactly. That's the reality of things.
And that's a pretty that's a complicated choice to have to make.
Yeah. Yes, and we find not only are our youth having to make these choices, but our senior citizens are having to make these choices. And I'll say this very lightly. We have several students right now with a college that I deal with.
Okay.
Very well known, one of the most powerful colleges in Georgia.
Okay.
So like that. I got 5 students about to get put out. Well, not put out in that sense, but they're on scholarships and things of that nature.
Mm-hmm.
But they gonna have to drop out because they got nowhere to stay.
Wow.
So you see how housing just became an issue.
Yeah.
By students who going to school to get educated.
Right.
And things of that nature. So we're actually going to be later on adding housing to what we're doing as well.
Okay.
As a inclusive component, because those issues go all together.
Okay.
You know, it being if you will, a one-stop shop.
Right. Okay.
You know, but of course we know what we're dealing with today. You know, it's the reality of having these resources and having people comfortable enough, and we try to create a comfortable atmosphere for everybody to come into and say, hey, lay your burdens down.
Okay.
We understand you because I'm dealing with this issue here.
Okay. And I'd just like to add a little caveat to what you said about why we don't go to the doctors. And you said a lot of it is financially, which I totally agree with that. But I think a little bit of that has to do with historically, we haven't had a lot of help from people that don't look like us when it comes to medical issues.
Exactly, it's real.
Just one that everybody knows off the top is the Tuskegee experiment.
Exactly.
Where they would give young black men syphilis.
Syphilis.
And track it and to see if they would die or not, basically. And they basically had the cure. And did not give it to these people. So I think, a lot of that still lingers in our communities. I know my grandfather on my mother's side, he would never go to the doctor.
Right.
And that trickled down to his children. And, you basically got to get an act of Congress to get, my family members from that side to go to the doctor. And so I don't think that needs to be overlooked in the grand scheme of this issue with the black community having issues with the medical community.
Now,
but I just want to put that out there.
Exactly. And I would like to touch on one other thing is if we're taught how to eat better, that can help with some of the elements that we deal with.
You are what you eat.
Yeah, you are what you eat.
Right.
Yeah, hey, look, you said, I'm just going to leave it right there. I just wanted to put that out there and let the people know that it's in the food that's healing, but you got to know what foods to eat and what things to stay away from.
Right. I had a friend and she's into the healing, holistic stuff. She told me before Christmas, stop eating sugar. Yeah. Whatever it is, stop eating sugar. She said something about sugar holds many of the diseases that she was like, especially cancer. Like cancer feeds off of sugar. And she was like, whatever, even if you feel healthy, she said stop eating sugar.
Right.
And you'll just feel a lot better. So to your point.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what, Let's Talk is all about. And that's just the bottom line of bringing the resources to our people. And not just really our people, but really all people.
Right.
All of humanity. And because this is I would like to call this a universal movement.
Okay.
Even though we're starting in Georgia, we're starting where we are.
Right. Yeah. You got to start in your own backyard.
And then we're expanding out as more partners, because as you know, it takes a village to raise a child.
Right.
I'm a little bit old school in that sense. But it takes, I'll flip that and say it takes partners to raise and to zero HIV and to end domestic violence and sex trafficking.
Okay.
To bring education and awareness toward healthcare.
Right.
And cut out the stigmas and make it plain and simple right for the people. And that's our objective.
Okay. So I'm going to ask you this question and then I'm going to let our guests chime in after you.
Yes.
But why is this symposium important to you on a personal level?
I mean, personally, I've had family members to pass away from HIV.
So have I.
I mean, personally, I've had family members dealing with heart disease, diabetes, high blood pressure, hypertension, as we call it.
Yeah.
Cancer, and several other different types of sickle cell anemia, things of this nature. So that's why it all ties in for me, because these are elements that's affected my family personally.
Okay.
And this is why it's so important to me, because I want to bring that education that my family members didn't even get.
Right.
But now I'm helping them and helping others at the same time. It's about saving a life, changing a life.
Okay.
Each one, teach one. If I find out some information, I'm obligated at that point that I find out to help you with that same information.
Right. Okay. Each one, teach one. Cynthia.
Hello.
Hey there. How you doing? Make sure you speaking to the mic, please. Say that again.
Hello.
Is she on over here? You hear her over there? Make sure the mic is on for me. Yep, there we go. There we
Hello.
go. Oh, there she is. Hey, Cynthia, welcome to the party, girl.
Hi.
All right, so I'd like for you to share a little bit about your story, and in doing so, excuse me? And in doing so, sharing your story, can you please also state why this movement, as Roderick called it, is important to you personally?
Well, let me do the reason why this movement is so important to me. I think this is about the fourth or fifth symposium I have did with Mr. Cunningham. I met him at a community event, and I gave him my card, and not knowing the idea that he had, but what I was already doing. So it means a lot to me is to educate my community on HIV and AIDS, is because our black community is dying out.
Oh, that's harsh.
I mean, our young kids are dying out. Our seniors are dying out. So, with that being said, I used to hear the statement saying, "Oh, I know what HIV looks like. I know what AIDS look like." But I feel like if people can put a face to breast cancer, heart disease, they can put a face to HIV. So I decided to take that stand.
Okay.
And I am a survivor.
Okay. Congratulations.
This April will be 25 years for me.
Wow.
So
wow.
What do HIV and AIDS look like? It look like me, you, your mama, your grandmama, your great grandma.
Right.
And I'm a little country girl, so I'm just gonna keep it real. So for me, I was a married woman.
Okay.
My husband was in the United States Army.
Okay.
I dated him for 2 years, and then the next year I got married, and the year after that, I tested positive for HIV.
Whoa.
Back in the 90s, it was still so fairly new because the term was it was a gay man disease.
Right. Yeah.
I'm a woman. I ain't gay.
Right.
So now I'm facing this deadly disease.
Right.
And my husband was in denial, had a secret life I know nothing about. So he was a man, as you hear the terms, on the down low.
Oh, okay. That is not what I thought you was talking about when you said secret life. But okay, I'm with you.
He was, if you want to use the term, he was a down low brother.
Right.
Never knew it. And then also he was an IV drug user. Didn't know that part of his life either. So my sister-in-law, thinking that before we got married or somewhere doing our dating, he shared those things with me, but he never did. I had to find out a year after we were married. Now, I am HIV positive. He's still in denial.
He's still in denial.
He was still in denial. Saying he really didn't. He wasn't in, let's say, in denial. He was in denial towards me, but he knew what he had.
Okay, did he know that before y'all started dating?
Yes.
Wow.
And also,
wow.
like I said, he was in the United States Army. And the Army knew.
What?
So, back in those days, it's ask, don't tell. They couldn't tell me what was going on with their soldier because they there to protect the soldier, not me.
Wait a minute. So they knew he knew his status. They knew his status. they knew you guys were about to get married, and they didn't say anything. Now that seems somewhat criminal to me on the part of the military and on your husband.
Yeah. If I knew what I know now, back then, yes. So let's fast forward to where we are today.
Okay.
If I knew what I knew now, back then, I could have done a lot more. But in learning and in the struggle to get to where I am today, I had to go through the shame, the stigma,
Right.
being ridiculed, not knowing, in the 90s, they were still treating HIV with AZT and people were dying.
Right.
I had 2 kids from a previous marriage, and they were 4 and 5. And when I got the diagnosis, I was still trying to ask, where's it coming from? And he kept saying it wasn't him. I know I hadn't been with anyone else.
Right.
When the doctors reached out to the Army, they wouldn't share anything with the doctors at all. So my husband got orders to go to Korea. I'm from Florida. I moved back home while he finished that trial. So my mindset now is, I'm stricken with this disease. Nobody's going to ever want anything else to do with me.
Right.
So my thing was I got to hold on to this marriage no matter what. Oh, well, however he was treating me, however the Army was treating me. So I went back home and was there when my husband got orders when he finished the tour in Korea. He got stationed at Fort Benning. So that's how I ended up in Georgia.
Okay.
Not knowing that the Army was helping him to end our marriage. They wanted me out because they knew I was asking too many questions. And I was about to bring light to the Army is why this. No one never said anything to me or anything. When I left Florida and came to Georgia, to Columbus, Georgia, maybe 6 months after I was there, the Army took away all my benefits, my insurance cards.
What?
All my military stuff. And they made me and my kids move off quarters. At this time, my husband was getting out on a medical. They were letting him out of the Army. The day before my husband left to go back to Cleveland, Texas, he called me. He told me, he said, I gave it to you. Now I'm out processing. I'm going back to Texas. And I'm going to give it to everybody I possibly can give it to.
What? What? Wait a minute. I can't. What? Why was... Okay. I have so many questions, especially surrounding the military. Because the job of the military is to protect people. So I thought.
But to protect their soldier.
So they were telling him to divorce you because you were kicking up too much dust, trying to get answers.
Really, I wasn't kicking up in the dirt. I was just trying to get to the bottom of
just by questioning, right?
And what was going on with me, and why couldn't, if I got insurance, why couldn't I go to a doctor on for a minute. I had to go out into Columbus, and then now I gotta beg for Medicaid or something of that nature because you've taken on my rights. I'm just entitled to the military insurance as my husband married to
Right,
me.
because y'all married, right.
So my husband, the night before he left, after they done put me out of quarters, I'm in a house trying to get myself situated. He came in, flattened all four of my tires, bust my windshield out of my car. My neighbor lived across the street, see everything. The military police was called, and the civilian police was called. The military covered my husband, put him on a plane. He went to Killeen, back to Killeen, Texas. When he out processed, any benefits he got, I got nothing.
So they totally cut you out because you were trying to get answers to this situation you were in.
Totally cut me out.
So what was the purpose of your husband coming to flatten your tires and break windows? What was the point of that? Like he's done this to you.
But was a very, very angry man. So fast forwarding, I'm in a strange place. Don't know anyone, with 2 young kids.
Right.
My mama's back in Florida. And the one person I thought if anything would happen to me, I know my mom would raise my kids.
Right.
But I was suicidal from the day that I got my diagnosis for those next 2 years. It wasn't, the first suicidal was the day that after I had made them test me 3 different times.
Yeah.
See, we can get a rapid test now and
it's instant.
In 2 or 3 minutes.
Right.
Back then you had to wait 2 weeks.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So by the time I got that 3rd test, but this is, I always say, God had a purpose and a plan. And that's why I'm sitting. That's why I'm sitting across this table today.
Right.
Because if it was left up to me, I would end my life back then.
Well, I'm glad you didn't.
I tried to take an overdose of pills. And when you see in my bio, when you hear me say FDKN, Faith Living Tabernacle, helped me through a lot of this.
Right.
The same pastor, when I had my diagnosis and received my diagnosis, is my pastor to this day.
Okay.
I moved away from Florida. 6 years later, my pastor started a church here, and God connected me back up with my pastor.
Right.
But him and his wife spoke over me the very first night after I got my 3rd diagnosis, because I was still in denial, hadn't told anyone, hadn't even said anything to my mama after the first time I tried to commit suicide, taking an overdose, and God didn't allow me to do that.
Right.
I went to church, and my pastor spoke over me. He said, God sent you here tonight to tell me to tell you, by his stripes, you are healed.
Yeah.
And then his wife, she said, you got to go through to help many men and women to let them know they can live, they can make it.
Right.
I still didn't understand it. I didn't want no parts of it. Being here in Georgia, and my mom was back in Florida.
Right.
I got a call to go home. Now, my mom done touched sick. Get there, she all hooked up to all kind of machines, and then she got pneumonia. And they telling me they done ran every test they could run, not knowing that the only test they hadn't read was the HIV test. The doctors would say, oh, with that test, we don't really need to run that test because she's 50-something, 58, 59, 60, somewhere along there. And so that, well, if that's the only test you haven't read, why not?
What you waiting on, right?
Which my mama know in her mind, something that she done.
Yeah.
But she don't owe me no explanation. She a grown. She my mama.
Yeah, right.
I told them to run the test. If anybody would have told me that my mama was going to test positive 2 years after me, I could have slapped them down.
Wow.
So, with getting my mother's diagnosis, gave me the script. And knowing that it wasn't all about me anymore.
Right.
I had to be here for
Your
her.
mom, right.
I picked myself up off of the hospital floor. And I said, God, you've been trying to get my attention, but I hear you. I don't understand.
Right.
But I hear you. I began to educate myself, learn as much as I can learn. Sorry.
You good. Take your time.
And do as much as I could do. Not only for me, and not only for my family. I mean, everybody's living room, and everybody's community. Trying to acknowledge them, enlighten them.
Educate them.
Educate, to let them know it's life after HIV and AIDS. You can live. Because when I tell you I done had it happen to me, people putting notes on my door telling me to get my HIV and AIDS and my children out their neighborhood.
Wow.
Now, that happened to me in Columbus, and that's what ran me here to Atlanta, where I see other people that look like me and was willing to talk about it.
Yeah.
And I could have that conversation. So then, in 2012 was when I did my first Let's Stand and Stop HIV together with CDC.
Okay.
I still feel like I still hadn't done enough. So in 2015, I did We Are Family. And my son, my oldest son, when I did the commercial. And my cousin asked me a question. She said, are you ready for the world? And I looked at her and I told her, is the world ready for me? So when I did We Are Family, that really opened up a big platform for me.
Yeah.
They wasn't coming so much after me, they was coming after my son because he had to take his Facebook down, he had to take his Skype and all this other technology stuff down.
Yeah.
Because they really didn't listen at the campaign clip. They was thinking he was the one that was positive and how could you go to school with us? And he says, you need to go back and watch the clip again. So he lost jobs behind it. But to this day, I can truly say my two young men are one of my biggest supporters.
Okay. That's great.
I could truly say my church family, my pastor and his wife, is been there for me. But every day I get up and I can look across the hall and see my mother. That's where I get my strength from, for me to push on and to go on. When I tell you it ain't easy,
I'm sure.
it ain't easy.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I got a sniffle. And
No, you're fine. You're fine.
But
This is
I'm just saying, it's real.
right.
These tears I shed, I'm not in pain.
Okay.
I just want people to know stigma and being ugly and cruel to people that's living with HIV and AIDS. We all need love.
Yes, correct. We do. You're absolutely right.
And saying ugly, harsh things to someone that's living with AIDS or HIV is not the answer.
Right.
This disease is not going anywhere until we all join hands. It's not just my problem. It's everybody in this room's problem. It is everybody's out there's problem.
Yeah.
We all got to stand together.
You're absolutely right. And I commend you for your bravery and just being able to share your story with people, because I can see after 25 years that it still has a strong, powerful effect on you. But it's a powerful story. You have a powerful testimony, and someone is going to get something. You're going to help, like whoever your pastor told you, you're going to help a lot of people. Like the other one. Yeah. I truly believe that, because I'm sure just like you felt, there are people out there that feel like it's just them. They feel like they're alone. They feel like they don't have anybody to talk to. And just hearing your story is going to make them say, okay, she got help. Let me find the warriors that's going to come and stand in my corner and help me also. So I definitely commend you. I really didn't think I could dislike the government anymore, but what you just told me about the Army and just covering it up and kicking you off the insurance and protecting their soldier, that's crazy to me. That is absolutely crazy. I have never heard anything like this before in my life. And for them to just ship him off so he can go infect everybody that he wants to, which I'm praying that he didn't do that. But my question to you in regards to that is, did you mention that to the Army or whatever branch it was? He said he was going to do that?
I mentioned it to the Army, but I also knew he was headed to Killeen, Texas. I contacted the local health departments and all to let them know that he's coming to your city, your town.
That is terrifying. That's scary that someone in that is infected with HIV has the mentality that I'm so angry or whatever because of this that I'm gonna go.
You know, my question to him several years later, because he never really reached out to me, but then I found out through Facebook, which I'm not a big social media thing. I'm still learning how to do all of that. I sent him a message to say, I forgive you, but I don't forget. But I had to do that in order to be able to sit on this side of the table. Right.
Yeah. That starts the healing process.
But my question to him was, why? Why were you so angry? I never done anything to you.
Right.
I never got a response. I never got an answer. Never. And I just say, Lord, why?
Right.
But in all that I've been through, it has made me stronger.
Yes.
It has made me the woman that I am.
Right.
Today.
Yes, ma'am.
Even though I cry.
Yes, ma'am.
It has made me more stronger so I can help the next woman.
Right.
Or man out there. I I have a lot of my friends inbox me, asking me different questions and stuff because they're going through.
Yeah.
And I tell people, this is a ministry for me. I don't get paid anything.
Right.
I appreciate you for allowing me to come here today to share my story. It's not a job for me. So a lot of people feel like, oh, she's making, no, I'm not. It's the ministry God has allowed me, that gave me the opportunity to help someone else.
Right. Now let me ask you this, and then I'm gonna move on to heroin. Because you were diagnosed in '94, is that right? And like you said, it was HIV was still pretty new.
Yeah.
At that point. So did they give you a certain amount of time to live, or did they give you anything as far as a diagnosis like that?
Actually, they, like I said, everything was still new. They kept telling me I was exposed. My bloodline had been exposed. Remember, I told you I have 2 older kids.
Mm-hmm.
Before my husband and I divorced, I lost 3 other children. 96, 97, and 99.
Wow. Sorry to hear that.
None of my kids or those ever tested positive.
Okay. Yeah, so this was after okay.
I didn't start taking medication. I went 18 years without meds. I started taking meds in 2012.
Really? Okay, can you explain a little bit about that? Because that doesn't fit with what I've been told about HIV.
And like I said, everybody, the virus, I have the virus that causes AIDS.
Right.
So everybody's immune system and stuff is different.
Right.
What had me to have to start meds, and then they would tell you back then when you start taking meds, you got to be faithful to it.
Yeah.
Where my blood counts, because I was going to the doctors like every 6 months, was just as the next normal person. The day-to-day life struggles, and you hear Mr. Cunningham talking about housing.
Yeah.
What you going to eat tomorrow and stuff.
Yep.
The day-to-day life struggles and the things that I went through, I think it took a hold on my body.
Right.
Even after that 18 years.
Okay.
That pushed me to that point that, okay, now I have to start taking these meds.
Right.
I'm not worrying about a med right now, because I'm trying to worry about what my children going to eat. Or where we gonna lay our head.
Right.
So my thing is, it's real, and not everybody can go that long.
Correct.
When my mom tested 2 years after me.
Yeah.
When my mom left the hospital, when I brought my mom home from the hospital, she was taking 21 pills.
Wow.
But I tell you, this day, my mom takes 1 pill.
That's
a day.
awesome.
So see how technology has. But I still say, it's a cure.
Right.
It's a cure. And we will get to 0. But we gotta all work together.
Correct. You're absolutely right, and I'm with you. I believe there's a cure, because if man made it, man can cure it.
Uh-huh.
I totally believe that. Thank you very much for sharing your story. That was powerful, and I'm just a little astounded and ashamed of our U.S. government for putting you through that, because your situation didn't have to be as painful and strenuous as it was, if you would have got some cooperation and help and not having your insurance snatched. Like, that is crazy to me. And they know you in this, and they're going to take your, that's crazy.
But the thing is, too, if I didn't, I think God made me very strong. I mean, because if I wouldn't have been as strong as like I said, I wouldn't be sitting on this side of the table today. Because if someone get the diagnosis now and went through some of the stuff that I went through,
yeah,
and what I'm offering, I didn't have that offer to me.
Right.
So now I have to learn the skills. And when someone call me at 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning, I get up out my bed and I'm listening to what somebody say. It ain't nothing for me to get in my car to go talk somebody out of suicide.
Right.
Because it comes with depression.
Right, yeah.
It's a mental state.
Yes.
It comes with that. And I thank God every day for keeping my mind. I didn't turn to drugs or alcohol.
Right.
So, you know, it's a lot come with the diagnosis.
Ooh, Lord. That was, thank you, Cynthia, for sharing that. We're going to bring our other guest in, Miss Harlan. How are you?
I'm great. How about yourself?
Pretty good, pretty good. And so you're here to share your story also. And your story, well, I'll let you go ahead and share with our listening audience. Before you do that, you're listening to WCEG Talk Radio.com. We're in studio with some of the members and the panels of the Let's Talk Sex Trafficking, HIV, and Healthcare Symposium that's coming up. When is it, Roderick?
February 28th. Of course, 2019, from 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. And they can register at Let's Talk Stonecrest. .eventbrite.com.
Okay, so it's on Eventbrite.
It's on Eventbrite.
What is it again?
It's Let's Talk. In other words, Let's LETS Talk TALK Stonecrest STONCREST.eventbrite.com.
Okay.
And it's free to register. Free food, free to register. Everything's free to you. We just want you to come out and get the education.
Yes, and let me just say, I went to last year's symposium that you had in April, and it was very nice. The panels, the people, the stories. This is just one powerful story. There are so many out there.
Yes.
But let's get to our next powerful speaker, Ms. Harlan. You're part of the symposium also, so why is it important for you to be a part of this symposium?
I am a survivor of human trafficking and domestic violence.
Congratulations for being a survivor.
Thank you. And my situation, I did not have a voice in my situation.
Okay.
It happened over 20 years ago, so of course, at the time, human trafficking was not a big thing. It was not a big thing in the courts.
Right, right.
And so everybody turned their back on me. Church, community, everybody turned their back on me.
Wow.
My situation is not like what people think human trafficking is.
Okay.
And the reality of human trafficking is that many of the girls go home every day.
Okay.
And people are like, how does that happen? Runaways, some of them. Some of them are teenagers who are trafficked and they go home every day. They're dating a trafficker. Mine was my boyfriend.
Wow.
He held a very high position. I can't say what he was.
Okay.
He had a very high position. And we would go out on a date.
When you say high position, you mean in corporate, in government?
Government.
In government, okay. Yeah. Just wanted to...
Yeah. And his thing was we would go out on a date, we'd go to the hotel. That's what boyfriend and girlfriend did. But for some reason, I could never remember what happened when I woke up.
So he was drugging you?
He would drug me.
Wow.
And the way I found out this was happening, I remember the first time something happened. No, one of my friends that knew me, he was a police officer, and he would buy women from these traffickers. Well, apparently...
Wait, the police officer?
Oh, yeah. Oh, that's a big thing.
what is?
Yeah, they most of them police officers. Okay.
Y'all blowing me with this. The people who's supposed to be protecting is doing the harming.
No.
But continue.
So, apparently the guy would put a mask on me, and they would videotape what was going on. Okay. Well, apparently my mask came off this particular time, and he recognized me. He asked the guy to purchase me for a large amount of money just for me and him. Instead, he got me home. Okay.
Wait, somebody recognized you and wanted to buy you from the trafficker.
Get me away from him. Because now he like, okay, now I can't buy this girl because I know her.
Because she...
But now, if you didn't know me, of course you're going to...
Right, I'm like...
Okay, well, he got me away from the guy. I confronted the guy, and then the threat started.
From your boyfriend?
From boyfriend.
Okay.
Now, before now, I don't know what's going on. I just know we dating, and he doing all this other stuff for me. Now, where my danger came in at was I wanted to be a model.
Okay.
So he wanted to take me be a model.
Right.
So I went away with him to do this modeling studio. Never saw a picture from it, period. Never, you're going to be on Vogue, all this stuff. Never.
Right.
And found out he was I can't say the title again.
Right.
Very high up in the government.
Okay.
Okay. His friends, to this day, are still in office. Okay. And I ended up being in a strip club.
Okay.
A stripper, and so everybody thought, yeah, of course she want to be a stripper. She blah blah blah, because you really don't know what I have to go through to get here. Okay.
Right. Right.
So now everybody said you could have left. Well, what he said was, I'm gonna blow your mom's house up. I'm thinking,
threats to the family.
So I go and I'm in my bedroom with my baby girl, and I hear a knock at the window.
Okay.
He's back there, and I don't know if anybody know what 187 means. It means murder.
187, yeah.
Okay. So that's what he put up, 187, and did like this. But in other words, he's telling me he got a bomb in my mama's backyard. I don't know if that's true. I know so he done dug something. I know when I go back there, something dug up. But now, I can't tell anybody this because my mama crazy.
Right, okay.
My family crazy, so they're going to go after him. He's going to retaliate. At least that's my thought process, okay? Mm-hmm. So now, I'm telling you, imagine now.
Okay, I'm listening.
Now, here we go again. Now, I'm having to deal with not for sure if my family's going to die. I can't tell anybody. So now, I have to do what you want me to do. So now, I'm not going to drug you anymore. I ain't going to drug you no more. I'm going to handcuff you to a bed. And I'm going to allow 50 men to come to you 40 one by one.
50?
Ain't nothing you can do about it. It had to be at least 40, 50. So then another instance
this is like in one night?
This is one setting, yeah.
Oh, geez.
One setting.
Okay.
Understand what human trafficking is. You are having sex against your will for money. You're not getting the money. That's not your money. Hear me. You're being sold for their pockets, not your pockets. You're not being prostituted for your pockets. You're not making money for you.
Right. You're a slave, basically.
Basically.
Yeah.
So, another instance happened where, again, intimidation. I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do this, blah, blah. I'm going to get you to this hotel. He blindfolded me and took me to this hotel way out. Now, I don't know if you know anything about Michigan. There's a street called Telegraph Road.
Okay.
Way out. No buses, no nothing. Okay, we're going to this room. Now, this time he did drug me.
Okay.
I wake up to the maid knocking on the door and coming in saying checkout time. I'm like, what? I look over. I lie to you not. There had to have been at least 30 receipts. This how gully he was.
30 receipts.
He did that intentionally to tell me basically what he did.
This is, oh God.
Okay.
You just made my stomach turn.
Wait a minute. I go to put my clothes on, my skirt is burnt up. I can't put my skirt on.
Okay.
I have no money. I have no ID. I have no nothing. You have robbed me. You have let these men basically rape me. Okay? So I'm all the way out here on Telegraph Road, way out.
Right.
I have no way to get home. I don't have a pay. I don't have a dime to call. I don't have a quarter to call mama. I don't have a quarter to call nobody.
Right.
I get to walking, and I remember this Corvette pulling up beside me, and I'm not trusting nobody. But he was like, "Ma'am, you have to let me help you.
Okay.
You have to let me help you." So he got me home. Him and his wife, they helped me for years to get it together. Before this particular thing happened, I had to become a recruiter.
Okay.
A recruiter is a madam.
Right. Yeah.
A female pimp.
Right. Yeah.
So you're bringing other women to him. You bring other young girls.
Right.
And I tell parents, when I educate parents, I let them know that your child can be trafficked coming home every day. The boyfriends do traffic, yeah.
So they'll traffic them and then send them home.
Oh, of course. Yeah. Some of the signs are, you know good and well, you ain't buying your daughter no Louis Vuitton purse.
Right.
Where it come from?
Yeah.
You ain't got no friends with that kind of money. And if you do, why aren't you being nosy about it?
Yeah.
A teenager gives another teenager a Louis Vuitton purse.
Yeah. You right about that.
So these are the things, and he lured me. The way he got me was, number one, money.
Yeah.
Before all this trafficking happened, he lured me with money. He lured me, I had on gas, I had on, oh my God, I had my first Coach purse. I had anything I wanted. I had Nike, Fila, whatever I wanted.
And how old were you when this first started?
18.
Okay. Okay.
So when I went through the process of going through all this stuff, I got away from him. He resurfaced.
Okay.
Okay? He ended up going to jail. And like I said, this was over 20 years ago. And so something I cannot talk about because of gag order.
Gotcha.
Okay.
Gotcha.
So in this time frame, I'm in the club dancing, and we back in the same thing again.
Okay.
He done take me from Michigan to here, Atlanta. I'm from Atlanta, but
Okay.
I'm living in Michigan.
Okay.
Nikki's 1 and 2. You remember me? I don't know if you heard Nikki's 1 and 2.
No.
So 1 and 2 of the biggest clubs ever.
Okay.
Stripper club.
Right.
Again, I'm being drugged. I'm being forced. Again, you doing intimidation.
Right.
A lot of people say, well, Harold, you could have been left. You could have been left. But then at the hand of my family dying, I don't know what he's going to do. So when I did ask for help, I was called a whore. I was called a harlot. I was called Jezebel. And I was preached about.
This from your family?
From the church.
Okay. See, I got two totally different church experiences going on here. But continue.
When I tell you, when I did confide in one person at church, they went to the pastor, and I was called everything but a child of God.
Because you were stuck in a situation and you were trying to seek help?
Because I wasn't married and I should have had sex in the first place.
So that means you deserve to get abused and raped? That's not logical.
So wait a minute now. Wait a minute. So when I went out to the community for help, oh no, we don't help prostitutes. What? I'm telling you what this man did to me and what this man is doing to me. But again, remember, trafficking at the time was only something they knew overseas.
Right, yeah.
I didn't even know what the name of it was. I just knew this man was making me do stuff against my will.
Right.
I didn't want to do this.
Yeah.
But people who knew I was a dancer, oh, that's like she lived. I promise you, it is so many people in them clubs right now who do not want to be there. They are not there by choice.
But some of the logic behind this is not rational. Because you're a dancer, that means you deserve to get beat up and raped, and you're a harlot, and all these. That doesn't make sense to me.
Well, that's what idea was.
And then if you're going to your church family seeking help, and they're the ones that's running you away, that don't compute.
So my thing was, when I say I had no voice, when I went to court, let me tell you, the man went to jail.
Mm-hmm.
He didn't go to jail for trafficking. Came out 15 girls he was trafficking.
Okay.
He didn't go to jail for trafficking us.
What did he go to jail for?
Drugs. The judge laughed at me. And her words was, so you decided to be a hoe. And now you want me to lock him up.
So
are you serious?
What? I don't understand how everyone is blaming you for this situation, especially a woman judge.
Let me explain something to you. And I don't know how people feel about the R. Kelly situation. Same thing.
I was going to bring that up.
Kelly, women. Manipulation. This man is legally running a trafficking ring.
Yeah.
And the community, because you like to hear his music, now you on his side. Because he give you a good two-step,
right,
you on his side.
Yeah.
But let it be your daughter.
Right.
I asked a parent the other day, I said, do your child play Fortnite? She said, my child would never be trafficked. Yeah, they play Fortnite. They're
on the game system.
They are right now in danger playing that game.
Yeah. Because the pedophiles, they log into the game, they put the headphones on.
Hello.
They making friends with your children through the headphones.
Hello. And if you know about Fortnite, if you don't change the privacy, gives you the address.
I heard that in a news story. I did hear that. Oh,
yeah. So my thing is, like I said, my trafficking situation is not like most people's. I'm not. Now, he did kidnap me for a week.
Okay.
He told me that I was too mouthy, so I couldn't. I had too much going on. I was too loud. And the whole thing was, it was something else he said. It was a whole bunch of stuff. Again, it's over 20 years.
Right.
So whatever his reasoning was, I ended up getting loose. But when I got loose, again, I had to find my way home.
Wow. Okay.
So my thing is, when I tell y'all trafficking is real, a lot of people say, well, Harold, you could have left, you could have did that. Someone tell you, I'm going to blow your mama house up. Now, mind you, he knew my family. He'd have been to family functions. He'd have been to family dinners. He'd have been to church with me. He knew everybody. This is what they do. When I tell you, all traffickers, they don't look like a monster.
Right, yeah.
This man is sitting in an office every day.
Right. So they think he got your government. They think he got clout and prestige and all of that stuff. Right, yeah.
Like I said, his guys that helped him do what he did are still in office today. When I say they're still in office today.
Right. That's pretty scary.
And the abuse that I endured, beating me, you telling me to look behind you. You see all these MFs, they getting ready to run a train on your I'm screaming. Can you imagine a woman? I'm screaming for help. I'm screaming. Shut the F up. Shut the F up. So you put something in my mouth to shut me up.
Wow.
While you got all these guys coming back to back, and you see them lined up getting themselves prepared for me. My thing is, you know this didn't happen just one time.
Right. Lord have mercy.
So, the first time I told my story, and I already know it's going to be the same. Every time I tell my story, it's the same thing. People I grew up with, they look at me different to this day.
Right.
To this day, they look at me different. I don't really care anymore because I survived. And I'm not even mad that he didn't go to jail for trafficking me. I'm glad he's gone.
Okay.
But my problem is the predator's still there.
Right.
They're still out here.
Yeah.
And when the Me Too movement came out, baby, it was some scared Negroes thought I was going to open up my mouth.
So you can identify a lot of these people that...
Please.
Wow.
So it was a situation, I remember, it got out, I'm not going to say where, it got out amongst a group of people.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of these men helping me. They walking up to me asking me how much. Are you serious?
Wow.
Are you serious?
You're
So this is what we deal with. And when I say people wonder why these women are not coming forward, for what? You ain't gonna believe them no way.
to be ridiculed
Because
and shamed.
if a
and,
man do it, boy, you got yeah.
yeah.
But when I was recruiting these girls, oh, you a dirty dog. See, understand trafficking does not mean you are from a different country.
Right.
We've rescued 80-year-old women who was trafficked. We rescued 2-year-old girls that were trafficked.
Oh God.
Trafficking will only end when the request stops.
Right. I've heard that before. When there's no demand, that's when
Sex
it'll
is
stop.
a demand. And you know they got this bill out now to try to make pedophilia
Normal.
normal.
Yeah. I've read that, man. That's
So my thing is, a lot of people say, well, Harold, how would you traffic and you was this and that, you was this and that. Anytime you are forced to do sex or work against your will for pay,
right.
and you beat me, I can't say nothing, because if I say something to anybody, my family might get wiped out. And I knew the power he had, because I dated some of the raunchiest men in the world.
Right.
I dated drug lords.
Right.
I knew I could. I'm like, I'm gonna have to tell one of them. And I remember telling one of them, by this time this dude was in jail.
Okay.
I remember telling one of them. And he was like, Harold, you should have been told me that. But I knew I could. I didn't know how to tell anybody, because the reality was, you know everything about me.
Right.
When it's called, they date you, when you are affiliated with this person, what happens is they get to know your mama, your cousin, your sister. They real nice to everybody.
Right. Putting on that facade.
Mm-hmm. Because that's how they get you. Human trafficking is not always someone taking you away.
Snatching somebody
Now,
from
mind you,
Brazil and bringing them
it is
here.
65,000 black women and girls and women missing today.
Missing today. You're right.
Most of them you already know in the trafficking ring.
Yeah.
When I tell you, churches have told me I couldn't come in their church and say nothing to their youth because of my past.
What you mean? Wait a minute. You can't go in and educate young people about the dangers of sex trafficking, domestic abuse.
My current husband was told not to marry me because I was a used up hoe. And this was by a man of God.
This is by a man of God. A preacher?
That's all I'm going to say. I have been blackballed by so many people I grew up with because they did not know my truth. And I'm not ashamed to say it now.
Right. And you shouldn't be.
I was out there dancing. Yes, I was. And I promise you, although everybody thought, oh, Harold and loving the lifestyle, you really don't know the pain that we endure when you don't want to be there, when you're not there because you want to be. Right. They see you in high heels, long hair, you got money, you balling. Now, when I was dancing, yes, my money was my money.
Right.
But I had a client. I'll never forget this guy. I had a customer who never even went a lap dance. All he could do is gave me money.
Okay.
And this man, I remember him approaching me, and I think he made me an offer. He said, I don't want sex. I just want you to get away. I want you to leave. And this man helped me get out altogether.
Okay.
I mean, he worked with me. He was like, his wife knew that he went to the club.
Okay.
And when I tell you, it took somebody who bought sex to to help another person get out of it. To help a victim get out of it. Ain't that crazy?
Yeah, that's...
When our community wouldn't even do that. Our community laughed at the church laughed at me. I'm going to tell you, it was funny because after I went to this particular pastor, and my husband can tell you it's funny because he didn't know what was going on at the time. Me and my current husband, we've been friends all our life.
Okay.
And every time I would come in church late, the sermon would change.
Okay.
Y'all gotta be aware of the devil in the red dress.
So you the devil now.
When I tell y'all, people don't understand the pain I endure after being trafficked. Trafficking wasn't even the hardest part of it. It was the fact that the community who should have taken care of me,
turned their back.
I was trafficked by our own government. Somebody.
Y'all killing me with this. Yeah, y'all killing me with this.
Then, the church is the cornerstone of the community.
That's what's making me mad.
You turned your back on me. You laughed at me. Then you sat me down. You punished me for somebody else's action. So my why is that I didn't have a voice. And there are so many women and young girls out here who need an outlet, who need to get away from it.
Right.
Everybody is not kidnapped.
Right.
Some of them sitting right beside you in the church.
Yeah.
Some of them sitting right in your school. Some of them standing for you in the grocery store. My husband and I was in Walmart about a couple months ago, and this little girl stood in front of me, and she kept watching me like she knew I had been trafficked before.
Right.
And she stood in front of me, and she lifted up her hair like she was playing with it. I promise you, she had a SKU number on the back of her neck.
She had a what number?
A SKU number.
SKU number?
Yeah, that's what they do.
What is that? What SKU number?
Trafficking. They
put a number on you?
They brand them, yes. My trafficker gave
I've never heard that before.
My trafficker gave me, all of us women, a beautiful tennis bracelet. Oh, gorgeous. And one of the guys told me, take that bracelet off. No, I ain't gonna never do it. Because he always said, don't ever take the bracelet off because it means so much to me. I could never figure out why this man knew everywhere I went. This man could tell you, he could pop up at the mall. This man knew my every move.
Right.
This before GPS and all this stuff became big.
Yeah.
Remember, he got money.
Right. Yeah.
This stuff been out for so many years, y'all. It was a little thing on my bracelet.
Tracking you.
So when I tell you, trafficking doesn't look like what they make it seem like.
Right.
It ain't these girls coming out in a big old. It's not just people put in the back of a van being sold off.
Right.
They look like me. They look like her. They look like everybody.
Yeah.
They traffic boys. They traffic men. I tell parents, stop letting your kids, you giving your kids a little too much leeway. Be nosy.
Yeah.
They have apps now.
Yeah.
They look like the Bible. They ain't the Bible. Like Facebook, they ain't Facebook. They're these secret chat room apps. The teens put on their phones.
So they disguise it up to throw the parents off like they're reading Bible scripture.
Because they want to be with a new boo or something.
The tricks keep getting trickier.
And so the parents are thinking, oh, yeah, I look at my baby phone. She got the Bible on her phone. Baby, open that Bible app.
Right.
Tell her to give you a scripture out there. Tell her to recite a scripture.
Yeah.
A lot of parents have been opening like, wow, it's a chat room app. They don't even know.
That's very scary.
I don't know if you heard of Backpage.
Yep. I heard of Backpage. Yeah, they shut it down last year, I believe.
Yeah.
And the other one.
And when I tell you, but Backpage is just one.
Yeah. It was Backpage and Craigslist
right.
that they shut down.
But those just two of so many other they do on Facebook.
Yeah. Because that's what happened. They shut down Craigslist and Backpage, then something else gonna pop up.
Right. And so my thing is, when the community wake up and stop victim blaming. So yeah, I dealt with Stockholm syndrome, and it's a thing of mine. It's where you have a sense of loyalty to your abuser.
Right.
But it's actually survival. You gotta do what you gotta do to survive.
You going along to get along.
Basically.
And survive.
And so everybody victim blame, well, you could have did it, you could have did that. Okay, so guess what? You can't tell me what you would have did because you ain't never been there.
Right. And
I tell people all the time, if you ain't never tasted strawberry, you can't tell me how it tastes.
Yeah.
If you ain't never been married, you can't tell me how to stay married. So if you've never been trafficked, how you gonna tell me how to get out of it?
Right.
Unless you have been through an education to teach people how.
I have so many questions. I just don't. Okay, so how did you ultimately get out of all of that?
The guy in the club really helped me. I mean, he helped me out. He helped me get the guy prosecuted. And the funny part about it is, mind you, no one went to court with me.
Okay.
Hear me. Nobody went to court with me. My daughter and my son was in court with me.
Yeah.
Nobody.
No
You're
community
not
support.
Me what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Nobody. I turned around, looked back. Him and his wife sitting back in the courtroom.
The sex trafficker?
No. The guy who helped me.
Oh, the guy that helped you and his wife sitting back there. Okay.
It's like now my ex-husband. I'm gonna show you how the system is, how we are, our mind thinking, beat my children. He went to jail. The church went to court for him. They didn't come to court for me.
What they helping him for?
That's the mindset.
Because he's a.
That's the mindset.
Person of high esteem.
That Negro. I'm sorry.
It's a family show, ladies and gentlemen.
I'm sorry. My ex-husband wasn't no high esteem or nothing.
Yeah.
But this is. I said that to say this is how the mentality of our community is.
Right. Gotcha.
You will defend a predator before you help a victim.
Right.
So when we went to court for this guy, no one went to court with me. Now, I knew my mom could. My mom tried to get off work, but my mom worked 3 jobs.
Yeah.
She did what she had to do to take care of everything.
Right.
And a lot of stuff I didn't tell my mom. I just it was too much, you know. I was scared. I didn't know how she was gonna react. And so when I told her, Mama was livid.
Right.
She ready to kill some. She ready to take off the whole block, out the whole block. They antagonized my mother when this happened. His boys would wrap around her car and try to antagonize her. Mama was scared. She was like, if you gonna shoot me, nigga, you gonna kill. I'm sorry. If you gonna shoot me, you gonna kill me.
Right.
So
they were trying to intimidate.
Right.
Sending her.
Right.
Sending
Now
people
he's in jail by this time.
Yeah.
But again, remember the community did not stand up for heroin.
Right.
The community laughed at heroin. The family shunned heroin. The church shunned heroin. So my voice is now, I had to change from anger to now empowerment.
Yeah.
So now I want to work with, and my goal is to work with the men's churches to educate on human trafficking. Some of them are sitting right in I was in church on Sunday, knowing what I had to endure when I left.
Coming up. Right. Wow.
Because I don't know if he got a bomb. I don't know because he been in church before. I don't know. So the reality is, my thing is to educate. What does it look like? It don't look like what you think it look like.
Right. Clearly. So let me ask you this. When you were going through the trafficking and the abuse, did you ever thinking of having a Centoya Brown moment? You know, Centoya, and if you don't know, for those who listen, Centoya Brown is the 16-year-old young lady who was convicted of murdering a 51-year-old man, who was her John at the time, and she was being trafficked, and the gentleman had a gun with him or by the bed or something. Centoya thought he was going to kill her, and so after he did his business, she picked up his gun and shot him and killed him.
Well, the guy that trafficked me, and when I say guy, I'm sick to guy because it was more than one. Okay. But he was the ringleader.
Right.
Okay?
Gotcha.
I did stab him in his side.
Okay.
But nothing happened from it. He still lived. But
you still lived after that? Like how?
Yeah. Well, at the time when I stabbed him, I was able to get away.
Okay.
I was able to get out the house.
Okay.
And my thing was, of course, he came back. I ain't go dipping deep enough to do nothing like a little flesh wound. It wasn't nothing like I stabbed him where he was bleeding, gushing.
Right.
All I did was what they call a little puncture.
Okay.
You know, just enough for him to be like, I can't believe, you know. But yeah,
I don't see how more people don't kill their abusers or harm them in some kind of way, because
I had a gun. Now he carried a gun,
right?
But he was smart enough to have them suckers locked up in a box. You know, they carry the guns in a box.
Yeah, lock box.
So I couldn't get to it. But had I been able to get, of course I would have killed him. Of course I would have, because that was my only out.
Right.
But my thing was, I had tried. I'm like, okay, so I even tried telling people about it and saying, giving them a scenario. What if this happened? Their response alone, and then me telling them.
Right. So you were just giving them a hypothetical scenario.
Like, what if this happened to somebody you knew? A girl, I wouldn't do that. They ain't nothing but a hoe. Really? So this is what the thought process is. And the people say, there's no way a person can traffic you and you go home every day. That's a lie. You know how many young girls I traffic every day?
Right.
Yeah, they do go home. Some of them do go home. But a lot of them don't even know they're being trafficked, though. Oh, I'm just having sex with my boo, honey. And you in the hotel room, you don't even remember what y'all did last night.
That's scary.
I could not. I dated this man for almost 7 months before I knew what was going on. And he always rented a penthouse suite. Top of the line.
Yeah.
And I promise you, I can never tell you what happened from the time we got in there and started playing around till I woke up. But it was always weird because a bunch of cops was in the room. I mean, you drunk last night.
Right, yeah.
I mean, filled with glasses and cups and stuff. And I'm like it was a party. So my thing is, every time we were supposed to be intimate, you selling me off.
Right, yeah.
And then come find out, the guy ended up showing me one of the videotapes. All of them were police officers.
Y'all are really, really making me lose faith in our protective services.
Hear me?
Nah, man, that's crazy.
When I tell you, police officers, to the point where they would antagonize me and come into the club and give me a ticket because I would not go out and have sex with them.
That's blackmail.
So what they would do is, now mind you, I was one, I'm just going to be real, I'll keep it real clean down there. Good, clean and shaven. You couldn't see nothing because that's against the law.
Right.
Okay. Now mind you, when I say it's against the law, in order to dance in the clubs in Michigan, legally, you had to have a license.
Right.
A cabaret D license.
Yeah.
So I was actually a licensed legal this dude knew what he was doing.
Yeah.
So he made me go get licensed. I was a cabaret D licensed dancer.
Yeah.
I can go anywhere in the United States and dance if I wanted to, because I was legal. I had a legal job.
Yeah.
I could collect taxes on it if I wanted to.
Yeah.
That's how. But let me tell you how he did this. They would get mad at me because I wouldn't give them no side stuff. I didn't even know you was trafficking me. I don't know nothing about you, but you knew about me. Because you done had me. I didn't even know you had me. So you decided to come. And again, two of my friends, when I found out that these guys were related to them, I'm like, I can't tell them about their brother. But they still in office today. That's over 20 years ago.
That's
They're
scary.
Still in office and serving today. Hear me when I tell you this.
Okay. I'm thoroughly disgusted with our government and workers. We're coming to the end of y'all stories have totally okay, Roderick told me you all were gonna have some powerful stories. He wouldn't even tell me none of the story when we was downstairs talking before y'all got here. He was like, I want you to hear it. I'm gonna let them tell it. And I have never, I mean, and you know the stuff is going on. Super Bowl was here 2 weeks ago. You see the commercials, you see the billboards, look for the signs, you know. But to actually sit down with some survivors and hear and see the emotion that and the pain that y'all talking about this with, it's really powerful. And
can I say something? Somebody asked me one time, Harold, why don't you cry anymore? I don't have any more tears left for him.
Mm.
And when I say that, now when I leave, I release.
Right. Yeah.
But I've got to the point where I am so numb, and that's bad.
Yeah.
It's very bad. And my people tell me, Helen, you're going to have to let it go. I'm so numb. I'm numb from hurt.
Right.
I'm numb from, when I tell you God bless me now with one of the best pastors in the world.
That's good.
When I tell you I have healed so much in the past year, just on his ministry alone, without him even knowing my story.
Yeah.
But I have been numb, and I'm like, I'm numb. I'm numb to hurt. I'm so numb that it's still going on.
Yeah.
I'm numb, and I know I gotta get past that because it eat me up internally.
Right.
Because I'm so numb.
Yeah.
And so I have to find a way to release that because I am told 20 years later I'm still numb.
Right. Whew, okay,
Yeah.
so we're coming to the end of the show, but before we go, we've heard the stories. We know about the symposium, which is February 28th,
Yes.
Stonecrest Library, 11 to 1:30.
Yes.
And what's the Eventbrite again?
Yes, it's of course the HTTP
Yeah.
and all that good stuff, but it's Let's Talk Stonecrest.eventbrite.com. That's Let's Talk Stonecrest.eventbrite.com.
Okay.
And we want everybody to register. It's totally free to register.
Yeah.
Come and get your eat on, and come get your education on, and come get tested for HIV.
Ooh, good one.
Free testing.
Ooh, free testing, everybody.
Free testing.
FREE. Okay, so please
So know your status.
know your status.
Our goal is to zero HIV with all the partnerships that we have, like I said, in sex trafficking and educate on healthcare.
Right.
That's our goal. And we got others coming up too, but we'll announce those as we have events. We'll announce another one.
Okay.
And we're going out throughout the whole year.
Okay.
All the way to August.
Okay. Sounds good. So I want to start with the survivors, with Harold, and come around the table. We've discussed the problem or problems, plural. What is the solution, Harold? And how do we eradicate sex trafficking and abuse, and how do we get the young people to understand that this is a very real, very serious problem?
Education is key, first of all.
Okay.
And we as a community have to come together and not be afraid to educate. Not be afraid to talk about it and understand it's real. And our parents have to be open to the conversation.
Yeah.
And until we find a way to end the demand.
Right.
And the demand is not with the monster. The demand is with the preachers, the deacons, the politicians, the police officers.
The people in power.
And power. Because, believe me, all this is about power. It
Right.
ain't really about sex. It's
Yeah.
about power.
It's about power and control over people.
That's what it is. So, we as a community have to learn to stand up and stop victim blaming.
Please stop victim
really
blaming.
educating ourselves that it's real and it might be right in our own house.
Right. And to your point about parents getting involved and talking about this stuff, I talked to my son about inappropriate touching from anyone, strangers, mom, dad, grandpa, grandma. I talked to him about that when he was 3 years old because my son, he was very smart and advanced. And I talked to him. I looked him in his face. I said, "You know what your private parts are?" He said, "Yes." I said, "You know what your, what did his mom call it? Bum?" She called it his bum. "You know what your bum is?" He said, "Yes." I said, "You know, those are your parts. Those are your body parts, and no one should ever touch you there in a way that makes you feel scared, uncomfortable, or anything. Do you understand me?" He shook his head like this. I was like, "No. Do you understand me?" He said, "Yes, sir." I said, "And if anybody ever comes to you and tries to do anything to you, you come and tell daddy. Or if they do anything to you, you come and tell daddy. I said, I don't care if they say they're going to kill me, kill mommy, kill your granddaddy. I don't care what they tell you. You come to me, come and tell daddy, and daddy will kill them. I looked at my son at 3 years old. I said, daddy will kill them. Do you understand me? Yes, sir. Okay, go play.
Right.
Like, I made sure I had to have that conversation with him at an age I knew he could comprehend what I was saying and that he would do what I told him to do, because I didn't want him to hear from somebody else first saying, if you don't do this, I'm going to kill your daddy.
Right.
Or if you don't do this, I'm going to kill your mama. No, you need to hear from your daddy first, that your daddy is dead crazy. And if something happened to you, I'm going to be in jail the rest of my life.
Right.
Because I'm not with it. And thankfully nothing, ever went down. But so the parents do have to. A lot of parents
are just oblivious. And I know you have to work and all that stuff. That's fine. But you can't be so disconnected that you don't know what's going on.
That's what that is, disconnection. That's
your child coming here with Louis Vuitton, Coach, and all this, and you didn't buy it. Right. Because my daughter had a gold necklace from a friend. Let me talk to your mama. Why your child giving her
it? Right. Yeah.
That's what. No, we don't check you like that, no man. Sorry.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know it's real gold. No, she's only in 6th grade. No.
Yeah.
No. Buy her a box of candy. That's it.
You got to pay attention to everything.
I was a nosy mom. Oh, honey. I ain't no doors in my house. Right. Yeah.
Thank you, Miss Harlan Rawls. Cynthia, to you, how do we get rid of HIV? How do we end abuse? How do we stop the evilness that's, like you said at the beginning of the show, making our community die out? What do we do?
Well, we need to continue to educate. I mean, I try to put on as many events I can outside of Mr. Cunningham's. I do stuff. And like I said, I've also started my own women's support group. This is the 2nd year in my home every 3rd Sunday.
Awesome.
And this year, my goal is not only just to focus on women, also men too. Okay. Because I get inbox a lot of people walking up to me in the grocery store, heterosexual men are living in silence because the label is HIV and AIDS is a gay man disease. Right. So you got a heterosexual man that's walking around HIV positive. Yeah. He might have used drugs or something like that, but want to open up. But how do he open up when he feel like someone is going to look at him as him sleeping with a transgender man that's trying to be a woman, or he's been sleeping with another man? That's not the case. So just continue to educate and get more knowledge. I advise everybody to get tested, know your status, know your partner status. I was married. I hear a lot of people come to my table like when I'm cases, and my little organization is called Women with the Focus. Okay. I hear women come to my table, I don't need none of this here because I've been with the same man 15, 20 years. But that old saying when grandma and them say, what goes on in this house stays in this house. Yeah. You can't live that way today. The new millennium people are doing things. And I want to say to my sister here, I'm so sorry that you had to deal. Your church turned their back on you. Yeah, I hadn't had that experience from the church I'm in now. But before my church got here and I ran across some churches, I thought it was a safe place to go share my status with this pastor. And by the next Sunday I come, everybody whispering and stuff. So my church now, open up. You're always welcome. I invite a lot of people that's living with HIV because they feel like that they can't talk. My pastor and the whole congregation shows nothing but love from the front door to the pulpit. Yeah. So we need to put on more events and reaching out to the churches and stuff. And a matter of fact, on the 1st of March is our men's conference at my church. And the first thing, one of my things my pastor was having, he's having HIV testing. He wants to get the men to learn about their health.
Okay.
So they came to me and said, Cynthia, what do I need to do? How do I set this up? I connected it with my people. So our men conference is going on from February the 28th to March the 2nd.
Okay.
You guys are invited to come out.
Okay.
And it's just, it's a talk. It's a thing that everybody needs to have this conversation.
Yeah.
It's not just my conversation. It's everybody's
Right.
conversation. Your grandma, your great-great-grandma, down to, I tell, when I go into schools and talk, your child can go get a HIV test without your consent. If they're 13 and older,
Yeah.
they can go to Aid Atlanta or the health department and get a free HIV test.
Yeah.
Because in our schools, 13, even 10 years old, having sex. I get called all the time.
Yeah. Elementary school having
you got the little girls up on the stairway, got giving the little girls blowjobs.
Yeah. I've heard that in elementary school. Yeah.
So it's real. So we need to have that conversation around the table. Just not don't sing it out from the churches, everybody.
Right. You're absolutely right. And to your point, about the family saying whatever happened in the house, it stays in the house. Let me just address that. First of all, stop telling children they're to be seen and not heard. Because you're taking away their voice right there. Okay? I can't remember how many times I heard that as a child. You didn't see and I heard. Get out grown folks conversation.
These days you got to have that conversation.
Our children are very smart. And I know myself, I learned about sex at 5 years old. And I found my dad's books and videos. And then the next year I got molested. So I became what's the word? Hypersexual at a very early age. But we have to listen to our children and stop taking their voice when we're the main ones should be listening to them. And then the other thing about what you said about what happens in this house stays in this house. I had a young woman on my show last year. She had an organization called SODA, Survivors of Domestic Abuse, Kendra Turner. And we were sitting here having the same conversation, and we were talking about what stays in the house and all that stuff. And she looked at me, she said, you know what? Secrets keep you sick. And I was like, and it was so profound to me when she said that, it just hit me and it stuck with me, because so many families, especially black families, we have these traumas that go on in our communities, in our household, and because we're so ashamed of what other people might say, it's don't you say nothing, keep it in his house, and that's how people continue to go on and hurt other people, because no one is talking about the hurt that the person did to me, because we don't want him, he might be a black man and we don't want to put him in jail, or we don't want to ruin his career. But you done traumatize, you done traumatize a child or a person for the rest of their life. Right. You crying tears, 25 years of pain. And I feel that, and I see that, you know, when I'm looking at you. And it shouldn't be that way. It should not be that way. Trauma inflicted on our children or inflicted as young adults, you shouldn't have to carry that for 10, 20 plus years without a support group, without the community coming to gather around you and lift you up and stop protecting these monsters. I've been watching ever since that, you mentioned R. Kelly, ever since that came out with R. Kelly, I stopped listening to his music. I stopped it. Everybody watching the video. You seen the video? You seen the video? No, I do not want to see a video of a grown man urinating on a little girl. Like, I don't want to see that.
You know, our society is crazy, because they will rather keep him in music than to protect these women. Oh, they was hoes anyway.
Right.
They knew they wanted to be there. Are you serious?
I can't.
My thing is, put yourself right there where she at, and then come talk to me.
And it's fun. You said we was over Christmas. We was watching the documentary, the R. Kelly documentary, and my grown cousin, oh, them little girls this, them little girls that, them little girls knew what they were doing. They shouldn't have been over there. And me and my mama looked at him like, are you serious right now? Like, they were children. They were, oh, them girls, they old enough to know what they. My mama looked at him. She was like, so you gonna send your daughter over there? You like, hell no, I killed that such and such and such and such. So why wouldn't it? So you ready to kill about your daughter, but you talking about these other young ladies and they this and they that and they harlots and all this other stuff, and I'm looking like, what? That didn't compute to me. Like, I just kind of backed off the conversation because I ain't want to say something to him to start a blow up, you know.
Our community is lost and confused, and it's easier to support him than to support the victim.
And then all these people, I separate the music from the man.
You can't.
And I'm like, the music you listening to that you talking about, you still listen to because it's so great. He talking about stuff he doing to these young children.
He been telling you what he been doing for years.
For years. And that's okay. But I digress because I can talk about that all day.
Ooh, Lord.
Ladies, thank you again. I commend you. Stay strong and keep empowering yourself and empowering others because that's what you're doing. I feel empowered just listening to y'all because this is crazy. And I got more anger towards the government and protective officials. Anyway, Roderick, you're the man that brought all this together, putting on the symposium, sex trafficking, HIV, and healthcare. In your opinion, you're doing great works to bring attention to the situation. What do we need to do to eradicate the HIV, the sex trafficking, the abuse? What do we need to do?
Well, first thing we need to realize, and Harlan said it earlier, all this is a modern day form of slavery and control.
Yes, absolutely.
Let's first of all recognize that and who's behind it. That's first thing. And the reality of that.
Right.
Second thing is that we got to deal with it from when I say people, whether it be youth, seniors, who's ever coming, when the Harlans of the world are coming to us, when the Cynthias of the world are coming to us,
right,
create that comfort zone for them to talk to you.
Right. Yeah.
This is how we begin to heal.
Yes.
And until we start that process of real talk, real conversations, and allow them to talk without interruption. Right. Become that listening ear. And that's what Let's Talk is all about. Okay. To one, open people up. Gotcha. Two, to receive it. You become a listening ear at that point. Yeah. You know, Harlan's there. Cynthia is there. Others are there. They're those listening ears, and they know what it looks like because they've been there. Yeah. So those who may be listening or tuning in, come to Let's Talk. Yeah. On February 28th. We got women, we got men there who are survivors and professionals. Yeah. That are readily able to help you and take you to the next level of survivorship and to victory. Yeah. So you can get your healing. Yes. That's what this is all about. And that's how we start the process. Yeah. Everybody has to start somewhere. Yeah. And that's the starting point right there of opening up and raising your hand and saying, I submit, this is me. Right. Right here, who's been sex trafficked. This is me who has HIV now. Yeah. Where do I go from here? Yeah. And then them, with the tenderness of what they've just heard, be able to say, me too. Let me walk with you now. Having that companion to walk with you. Right. And hold your hand. I'm not going to let your hand go. And once you get on your feet, each one teach one. Yeah. In other words, now you're walking with somebody else and you've been that listening ear. Yeah. Those listening ears should be our pastors, should be our deacon and deaconess. Right. Should be. Yeah. So those who have that sense of heart within the church, if you find the church not listening to you, find shows like WCEG. Right. and find reach out to those people. You got the internet at your
Right.
accessibility.
Exactly.
Use those tools that you have to reach out to see who will listen to you.
Yeah.
And who will help you get the help that you need to start you on your journey.
Right. And don't be afraid to get the help.
Yeah.
Because, you know, like y'all was saying earlier, the shame, the ridicule, and all of that stuff, that keeps people from coming forward. And to your point, Roderick, about being a comfort zone for people. When I was in college, I told you I was hypersexual. So when I was in college, I was a huge man garden tool. Okay. I was a huge man garden tool, and so I'm just trying to lighten up the mood a little bit. And so I dated a lot of women. I went to FAMU. Shout out to FAMU. Dated a lot of women. It was good. FAMU was good to me in the woman department, right? The majority of these women that I dated all had a story about molestation, domestic abuse, or rape. Now, mind you, we're talking close to triple digits now. The number of women I dated, and the majority of these women had a story to tell me. It got to the point where I'm halfway through college. I'm like, what is going on with all these women coming out to me? And then they all said the same thing to me. To your point. I don't know what it is about you, but something about you made me feel comfortable enough to share with you my story. Now, even though I was a man garden tool, I treated women with respect. Like I couldn't just have just one, but when I was with that one, I treated her like she was an absolute queen. So maybe that had something to do with them being comfortable with me, because I was never, you know, what they call toxic masculinity. That was never me. Being overly aggressive and not being a listener, that was never me. I just like to be free. And so at that time, I knew it was something not right with all of these women coming to tell me stories that they've been through. And then, of course, after college, I got older. Friends that I've had, they telling me stories and this, that, and the other. And I'm like, I'm just looking like, this is really an epidemic. A serious epidemic that no one really talks about, because, like you said, most people feel that they don't have a voice. Or they might have told one or two people and that person had an adverse reaction or didn't believe them or whatever the case may be. So y'all are absolutely right. We have to stop victim blaming and give them the help and the resources they need to be whole. Like, yeah, I'm going to be thinking about this church thing and this army thing.
But also, who am I to judge Harlan? Or who am I to judge Roderick? So when you got people, when you judging someone, you got to look at it. You got to take a look at the man in the mirror.
Right. You're absolutely right. Thank you for tuning in to WCEG Talk Radio.com. Give a few numbers out, give my scholars of the week, and we'll be out of here. I want to thank my guests, Roderick, Cynthia, and Harlan, for coming in, sharing their stories, letting the community know about the symposium that is again at Stonecrest Library, February 28th, 11 a.m. to 1:30 p.m. Give the Eventbrite again.
Yes, let's talk Stonecrest.eventbrite.com. That's let's talk Stonecrest.eventbrite.com.
Okay. All right. Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence. That number is 404-209-0280. Again, that's the Georgia Coalition Against Domestic Violence. 404-209-0280. Men stopping domestic violence. This is important because, man, there's a lot of us out here doing this, and I think we need to be the ones to have a bigger voice in bringing this to an end. So the number for men stopping domestic violence is 1-866-717-9317. 1-866-717-9317. National Suicide Prevention Hotline is 1-800-273-TALK. 1-800-273-8255. And another survivor told me there's 3 things you can do to help somebody who may be thinking about committing suicide, and that's question, persuade, and refer. Question them about what's going on with them, persuade them to seek help, and then refer them to someone that can help them. So question, persuade, and refer. And then there's the suicide prevention text hotline. You can text CONNECT, CONNECT, to 741-741. Again, that's CONNECT to 741-741. And before we get out of here, I can't leave without doing my Scholars of the Week. Okay, my first Scholar of the Week goes to Najee Graham Henry. She is the youngest woman barber in the world. She is 11 years old. No, she's 8 years old, and she gives free haircuts to people in her community because she wants to help people in need and make people feel good about themselves. She graduated from the Junior Barber Academy in Philadelphia. She was the youngest student and the only girl. She has given free haircuts to children in her community and homeless people in her community. It is her dream to cut LeBron James's hair. So my first Scholar of the Week is to Najee Graham Henry's. Woo! My second Scholar of the Week, they didn't have his name because he's a minor. I call him Lil Militant Talbot, because that's his mom's last name, Talbot. He's an 11-year-old gifted student at Lawton Childs Middle School in Florida. He was arrested 2 weeks ago and charged with disrupting a school function and resisting arrest non-violently for refusing to stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. He told his substitute teacher that the flag is racist and the national anthem is offensive to black people. The substitute teacher then asked him why, if it's so bad here, do you not go find another place to live? He replied to her, because they brought me here. That's my man, Lil Militant. So the teacher said, well, you can always go back because I came here from Cuba, and the day I feel like I'm not welcome here anymore, I'll find somewhere else, place else to live. She then called the office because she didn't want to deal with the student any longer. The child was taken to juvenile detention center and suspended for 3 days. Here's the kicker. Students do not have to participate in the Pledge of Allegiance at this school, and the substitute didn't know that. So the substitute is no longer allowed to teach in the district. But why was this little boy still arrested and suspended from school for 3 days when he's not even supposed to? He doesn't even have to stand up for the Pledge of Allegiance. That's just going to show what they're doing to our children in the school system. So make sure you know what's going on at your schools. But Lil Militant Talbot, you're my second Scholar of the Week. Stay strong, little brother, and don't let them break your spirit.
That's it.
That's it for the show tonight. Thank you to the listeners for tuning in tonight to WCEG Talk Radio.com. This has been a hashtag casual conversation with some really amazing people doing amazing things in the community. Again, I thank you all. Keep up the great work. And I thank you all for tuning in as always. Make sure you tune in next week. Nope, we're off next week. We'll be back March the 5th. Same place, same time. Thank you. Peace. Shout out to Mr. Oliver, too, for producing the show. Thank you, sir. Mic's on, please. Like, I'm an empath.